So I want to start by saying thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should start right at the beginning. How did you first discover drag?
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm glad I'm here. How did I discover drag? Well, drag, I think, has been a part of my life
Mhm,
from watching pantos when I was younger and all stuff like that. That's how I kind of was introduced to drag. And then later on, when I turned 17, I'm originally from Malta.
mhm,
And when I turned 17, I moved over to London to study musical theatre. And obviously, being in the arts even more than I was when I was in Malta, with a bigger landscape of different types of art form. I found drag there, and I started, seeing some drag shows locally, and then I started watching Drag Race. So I kind of it was an accumulation of everything coming at
mm,
once at the right time, basically.
yeah. And what made you want to start having a go then yourself from sort of seeing it to doing it on your own?
Sure. So I actually started. So I finished college and I graduated in musical theatre, and my first professional job was as an entertainer in a holiday village out in Tenerife, and we had 10 different shows, and one of them was a panto, and I was cast as the dame for it.
Hmm.
And I realized with that one show that I had that little bit more confidence on stage in myself compared to the other nine shows. So I was
Hmm.
like, okay, something is working here, and I think I need to play off this a bit more. So
Hmm.
when I was in Tenerife, I just started playing around with makeup on my during my free time and just, working on it. And then COVID happened, unfortunately, and it kind of was a stop. But
Hmm.
at the same time, it helped me to, reach them levels that I wanted to set for myself with how I
Mm.
looked and what I'm presenting and everything. And, I flipped it over, and then Greta was born.
Mm. So the name Greta Tude was introduced after that point?
Yeah, so actually, I started with a different drag name.
Oh.
Not going to mention it today, but if you're watching it, you know it, you know what it is. Because it still haunts me to this day. But then I decided, I was like, I want something that's going to like stick me out from everyone else and
Hmm.
something that means a lot to me. And one thing that I do every day without fail is when I wake up, I journal, I read, and part of my journaling is writing a gratitude list for the things that I'm grateful for that day or
Oh.
that's just happened or that's going on in my life. And I was like, that's true to who I am. So I was
Mm.
like, what to do with gratitude? I thought, oh, Greta Tude. So that's where it was
Yeah.
born.
Oh, fabulous. And then obviously doing it as a sort of pantomime dame and then to doing it in real life. What was the first performance as Gratitude like?
Yes, so my first performance, it was, when you start in drag, I
Mhm.
think most people feel like, oh, I'm the best. And you watch it back and you're like, well, maybe I'm not. So it wasn't a car crash. I'm still quite proud of it. It was, I remember I was in London, so
Mhm.
I was like, that was my first time performing in front of an audience. And I was like, this is a great venue to perform at. So I was really happy I had that platform. But yeah, it was from the get-go, I knew that I wanted to sing live. So that's what I did. I
Mm.
remember singing a song from Smash, the TV show. Obviously, I had come from a background of musical theatre, so that
Mhm.
is what, is my strength, basically. So yeah, I was really proud of it. I sang live and I got to meet so many people, and it was, I realized that that is, this is what I was meant to do. This
Yeah.
is my
Oh, amazing. So you've obviously mentioned a lot of musical theatre already. So do you think that has what skills do you think for musical theatre training can you transfer to drag?
So obviously, like all the performance side of things, I think that is very helpful when I had all that training that I can apply into drag. But I think the most thing that I apply from my musical theatre training is the level of professionalism and the
Mm.
level of preparation and training and dedication that I was taught during my 3 years of training. I think that is that's so set into me as a person that when it
Mhm.
came to drag, it obviously transferred into that and it just made everything a bit
Mm.
more, smooth sailing, let's say
Yeah,
that.
totally, totally. Obviously, just jumping forward for a second, the last time I saw you perform was at Follow That Star, where
Oh
you did
yes,
the incredible rendition of She Used to Be Mine from Waitress. That was
indeed,
just
yes.
incredible. Fantastic. Um,
Thank
but going back now, obviously you entered Drag Wars
you.
um
Yes.
a little while ago. So what drew you to that competition? Why did you want to enter?
So I think back then I was still in the beginning of my finding my feet as a drag artist,
Mhm.
and I had done a competition in London with a drag king called Dandy Issues,
Hmm.
who had previously done Drag Wars and was quite involved with Drag Wars, and they told me that I should apply for it. So I did, and Drag Wars was my first competition that I actually ever got to the finals of. So it
Wow.
was a massive achievement for me as a drag artist, and I felt like I say this all the time when I speak about Drag Wars. Drag Wars is the one competition that gave me the confidence in myself
Mm.
and that really set a stage for me and that I took off from
Yeah,
basically.
totally.
Solidified everything for me. So yeah, drag was absolutely amazing. And if anyone is watching who wants to enter it, do because
Yeah.
it genuinely helped me so much. And I know I'm very close to the host, to Mr.
Hmm.
Monique. We've kept our friendship going to this day, and they give such a platform to everyone, and that
Mm.
is the main important thing that I got from it.
What are some of the highlights performance-wise? And obviously, because you made it to the final, you've done quite a lot of the episodes, weeks, whatever you want to call them. What were some of the
Yeah.
highlights for you?
I think the highlights for me was actually the semi-final. I felt at my best performing until that moment, and I remember the way the Frog and Fiddle, where it's hosted, is set up. There's like a little backstage,
Hmm.
and so you start from backstage, get on stage, but then I had a little interlude in the music and I wanted to change, but then I wanted to be at the back of the audience. And I just remember I had about 20 seconds to do the quick change and run around through the beer garden. And it's just stuck there in my head. And then I'm just at the back of the venue going, I'm here, guys. And then everyone just turns around. And I thought it just added everything back into one. It just made me feel like I'm back in my musical theater days, like
Hmm.
create a whole story, not just doing a song, which
Hmm.
is something that's very important to me. And yeah, that the semifinals, I felt at my best. I sewn an outfit for it as well because I had just started sewing my
Oh
outfits by
wow.
then, and I had so many compliments on it. So I was feeling really high. I was
Hmm.
like, it was a very, very great day.
Hmm. And obviously, you did very well because you were then invited back for the All Stars version of Drag Wars.
Exactly,
So
yes.
why was it important for you to return?
So the All Stars of Drag was it's not really a competition. It's more of a celebration of
Okay.
drag and celebration of the competition itself of Drag was. But obviously, it was also done for charity.
Hmm.
Drag was lost one of their alumni to cancer, and obviously, it is something that's very important within the Drag Wars
Hmm.
family that we celebrate and we raise so much money for it. And it was just being there, and it was like. I'm pretty sure it was around 50 drag artists performing.
Wow.
So spending the entire day with drag artists and
Hmm.
getting inspired by seeing other people, it was a very, very great event. I really
Hmm.
enjoyed it.
Totally. And so, as well as being a musical theatre girly, I know you have, I would say, a love that trumps musical theatre is your love of Eurovision. So,
Definitely.
where did that love of Eurovision start?
So Eurovision for me has always been in my blood. That is the only way I can describe it. Since I remember, like from my very first memories in life, I remember watching Eurovision with my family. It's just
Hmm.
back in Malta, Eurovision is a very big thing. You either love it or you really don't
Hmm.
like it at all. And there's no in between, but everyone is stuck to their TV watching it. The whole of the island just stops for that 3 hours and just watches it
Hmm.
with big on it. And yeah, so I always loved it. I always had, that passion in me for it, and my family loved it. We watched it together. It brings a lot of memories to me when I'm watching it of
Hmm.
my childhood. But obviously, then when I turned 5 years old, I started performing myself, and it kind of in Malta back then, even to this day, I would say that's like the pinnacle. Eurovision is like at
Oh,
the very
okay.
high. Like
Hmm.
it's something that a lot of the artists in Malta will strive towards. So obviously, being a performer, that was always a goal of
Yeah.
mine, and
Oh,
and that's why I love it. And it just,
yeah.
big motivation for me when I was younger, and it still
Hmm.
is to this day.
As a random story about myself, I went to a Eurovision party once, and we all got assigned a country, and I got
Oh
assigned
yeah.
Greece. I meant to bring
Oh
food and
wow.
support the country, and I
Nice.
dressed up as Danny Zuko from Greece because I didn't know what to actually wear for traditional. So that's the
Fair
random.
enough.
So, what are some of your favorite sort of Eurovision performances then? What are ones that stand out?
Oh, one some that stand out. I would say definitely Australia. I want to say 2022 or 2023. 2022, I believe. It was Sheldon Riley with Not the Same. That is
Mm,
a performance that I always remember, and I always say how much I love it. I think the words of the song, the lyrics are very meaningful, and you can see the passion through the
mm.
artist coming through the song, which is something that I just remember so
Yeah,
clearly.
totally.
And there was another song, I want to say around 2011, 2012, around that time from Norway called Monster Like Me, and just the melody, the
Mm.
orchestration of that song is so stuck in my head. When I think of Eurovision, that always comes to my head right away. I don't know why. It's she had ginger hair. I just remember everything about it. It was so good. Um, but obviously, then there's the other ones that a lot of people love, like Euphoria,
Mm.
Tattoo, Fairy Tale. I love all the classics, don't get me wrong, but there's some gems in Eurovision that I just,
Yeah,
really.
totally. And then obviously you got involved with the multi Eurovision. So
Yeah,
why did you put your name into that? Why did you want to take part in that sort of search?
sure. So obviously, as I mentioned, Eurovision is big in
Hmm.
Malta, but I had already had left the country for about 8 years until I returned for the Eurovision, really. So it was a bit of a shock, I think, to people,
Mm.
kind of, oh, he's coming back. Because obviously everyone knows me as my boy persona in
Hmm.
Malta. I say everyone, not everyone. That was a big. Uh, but people in the industry know
Mm.
me as my boy self, obviously, whereas I returned as Greta. But yeah, as I said, I always wanted to do Eurovision. To me, that was a massive goal when I was
Mm.
younger. I had done the Junior Eurovision in Malta, and it was like a stepping stone to get there. And then I moved here, studied in theatre, found my footing within drag, and I was like, I think now is the time for me to actually try and achieve
Mm.
that dream of mine, and that's why I submitted a song. And also, it was a big deal for me because I really believe in representation,
Hmm.
big time. And at that time, I think there was maybe two drag queens on national TV in
Oh.
Malta, and I was like, right, Eurovision is one of the biggest things in Malta, and I think they need a drag queen. We need
Mm.
representation, and I'm happy to take that baton and run with it.
Mm.
And nowadays, there's drag everywhere in Malta. So I feel like I
Mm.
helped out in that situation. It's not all on me. The drag artists in Malta are obviously fantastic, fabulous, and
Mhm.
their performances are incredible. But yeah, it was a big deal for me personally, but also as a society, I think we needed representation at Eurovision in
Yeah.
Malta.
Oh, fantastic. And so obviously before we get to the result of the competition, you obviously had to put together a music video. So what was it like putting that
Yeah.
together?
So putting that together was a task. It wasn't, it wasn't easy, but it was a lot of fun. It was genuinely one of my favorite things I've done in my entire life. It was, I worked with my team, my choreographer, my director, and we created up this whole story of what we wanted the song to show, basically, and what the song is about, and how can we add the drag element of the comedy into it as well that I
Hmm.
wanted to add. But at the same time, my whole team is based in Malta,
Oh.
and I am in the UK. So it was a massive thing, basically. A lot of Zoom calls, as you can imagine, a lot of
Hmm.
calls, and me FaceTiming my dancers, rehearsing with my choreographer to see what they're doing so I can try and catch up from a different country. It was, yeah, a lot of jigsaw puzzles went into it, but by the end, it was genuinely such a dream. We filmed the whole music video in one entire day.
Wow.
So it was a very long day. We had a
Hmm.
perfect venue that we could change everything around for to fit the scenes that we needed. And yeah, I remember landing in Malta, I think, say on a Thursday, for example, in the night, Friday morning, have a rehearsal, and Saturday morning, shoot the music video. So it was
Oh.
boom, 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 done. Yeah, it was a dream to create, and I hope that I will have the chance to do something like that again.
Yeah. So was it to an existing song or was it an original song for the
So
music
it was
video?
my original song. It
Your
was
original song.
yeah, the
So,
original song that I applied with for
wow.
Eurovision, topic blah blah, and it kind of helped in a way when we wrote the song, myself and my team, Patrick, Mushu, and Cyprian. We wrote the song together, and we had the vision, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
When we wrote the song, we knew what we wanted. So then when we had the opportunity to have that platform to create a music video, the ideas were already bouncing in. So yeah, it
Hmm.
was.
Oh,
great.
fantastic. And so, spoiler alert if people haven't seen it already, you did end up winning for the music video category. So, what was it like getting that announcement that you won, that all your hard work was worth it?
It was, it was such a moment. I
Mm,
don't have the words to really describe it, to
mm,
be honest, but basically, it was a pinch me moment. I was there, sat with all the other contestants. We're all waiting for the results, and then to hear my name being called out, it was like, oh my God, is it actually me? Did I do it? And I would just remember being so happy, being so grateful for my entire team.
mm,
Yeah, it wasn't just me who had won. I think the team did such an amazing job on the whole thing with editing, with filming, costuming, makeup, everything.
wow.
It's just,
Mm.
it was a whole team celebration. We were really, really proud.
Oh, fantastic. Obviously, you mentioned that there was kind of drag in Malta at that time was relatively limited, the sort of
Yeah.
being seen. So, have you since returned to Malta to perform as Greta Tude?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
I was actually
fantastic.
invited to perform at Malta Pride last year, which was absolutely incredible.
Mm,
It was, to me, performing in Malta is always very emotional because I just remember my younger self when I
mm,
didn't feel, you know, I didn't feel safe to be me when I was in
yeah,
Malta until a certain age. And then obviously I came out to my family and my friends and life got that bit better. But then obviously being able to be invited back to perform at Malta Pride and just seeing my family, seeing my friends and my peers out there, and I'm just being myself proud and giving a voice to these people who should be proud of themselves as well is, yeah, it was amazing.
yeah. Oh, fantastic. So, from things you have done to things you're going to do, you obviously recently announced that you are hosting your own dance class here in Wales.
Yes.
So, why did you decide to put that on? Why did you think that was something that needed to be done?
Yeah, so dance for me is something that when I was younger, I loved it so much. And then I started growing up and singing came along and it kind of took the limelight from dance. Then when I went to college, I specifically chose a college that was more dance focused than
Mm,
vocal focused because I knew that my vocals were at a point where I could just improve on them, whereas my dance at that stage needed some
mm,
more push. So I was like, I'm going to go to this college because I know that this will help me in my theatre career. And it did because I left college with
wow.
advanced exams and as a dance teacher myself. So dance is a big part of
Mm,
me. I love dancing. It just brings me so much joy when I'm dancing. And I thought, let's let's throw my hat in the game. Do you
yeah.
know what I mean? And just throw this dance class. I used to teach dance when I was living in London, so I've got
Oh,
that
wow. Yeah.
experience. And I was like, I've not seen someone do a drag
Yeah. Well, that's
class,
fantastic.
so why not try it out? So yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we're going next.
So I'll put the link in the comments below
Thank
for
you.
people to book on. But what can people expect from the dance class?
I think a dance class with Greta is expect fun. It's not about getting the moves to,
Mm,
exactly. I want you to express how you're feeling. Maybe yes, there's choreography that we're following, but if you feel like that something doesn't count for you, you can do it your own way. It's about having fun, about letting your emotions come out and just being free, basically. That's what
mm.
I hope
Oh,
to achieve
fantastic.
with this dance class.
Mm. And what has the feedback been since you did the announcement then of putting up that you are doing this class?
Yeah, it was really good. I've had a lot of interest from drag queens, drag artists, and also non-drag artists
Mhm.
alike. It's just been great feedback, and we're hoping to get a few more bookings now. So if you want to come
Yeah.
book on. So yeah, we're excited for it. Very excited.
So we are coming to the end of my questions. I have about three more. So
Yeah.
what can you expect at a gratitude show? So what are your performances like?
Yes. So a gratitude show, again, it's about fun, it's about inclusivity, and it's about my main thing with performing is that people walk through them doors, leave their worries at the door,
Hmm.
just sit down, make them forget about everything and just enjoy life. That is one of my main goals, I would say, with performing in general.
Hmm.
So expect fun, expect chaos in a good way. It's all been pre-thought, the chaos
Hmm.
has been. But yeah, it's just expect like live vocals, comedy. I love getting to know people. It's one of my
Hmm.
favorite things to do at my show. Just getting to know people, seeing who's in the audience and getting them involved with me. So yeah, that is That's
Love
a gratitude show to a T, I would
it.
say.
So, where can people stay up to date with you and what you're doing?
Of course, you can find me on all of my socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at the Greta Tude. My link tree is somewhere in there as well, so you can, see where my upcoming shows are. But I will announce them. I'm quite vocal on social media. I love social media. So I'm always on it, always. Right now it's the 15th of August, so I'm doing Vlogust at the moment over
Oh,
TikTok
wow.
as Greta and as my voice self as well. So come and have a look at that. So yeah, I just love social media. So everywhere you will turn at social media, you're going to see gratitude. Believe me.
So, do you have some upcoming shows you'd like to promote to shout out?
Yeah, of course. So next up, apart from the dance class, let me think. Where am I? I've got Sparkles in Merthyr coming
Hmm.
up again in September. It's one of my favorite venues to perform at. So if you've not been down there yet, get
Hmm.
yourselves down there. It's the first LGBTQ plus bar in the valleys. So it's a
Hmm.
very big deal. So go and support your local bars. Very important. Where am I? I've got Newport Pride coming up
Oh,
soon
wow.
as well. Some details to be announced, but I'm also doing a drag brunch at the Newport Market for it. So if you're
Wow.
about for that, come and join us. But yeah, there's quite a lot on my link tree. Link,
That'd be the
I
easiest way.
have the link tree or my diary. Otherwise, I forget everything.
So, my final question is: what advice do you have for young people looking to get into the drag industry?
Do it. Just go out there and do it. Get yourselves, when you're legal, get yourselves to the local bars and go and support local drag artists and these venues. Talk to people, tell them that you want to be involved with drag
Hmm.
and give it a go. I would say just try it. You'll never know unless you try. That is something that was drilled into me when I was younger, and that is the reason why I ended up doing drag because I was like, I'll give it a go. Why not? There's nothing to lose in life, innit? So, yeah, try it out. And when it comes to the physical things with makeup, for example, watch tutorials, but don't follow them.
Mm.
Watch to have an idea, but find your own style because that's what's going to make you stand out.
Oh, fantastic. So that is everything I've got. So I started by saying it and I'll end the same way. Thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. Obviously,
Thank you for having me.
it's all right, no problem. As I said, I'll put the links in the comments below so people can scroll down and click away. But I wish you the best of luck and I shall speak to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me once again. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys, and follow all the drag artists that are on here.
Thank you so much. Speak to you soon.